Thanks for staying with us. You know, the reason why these conversations are important is because when young men are growing and they are in a certain phase, you know, that midlife, you have some money, you're spending, you just feel like you have options. You know, if the wife is not in the house, not doing this, let me get somebody else. And you just want to explore. But you must always remember and calculate this exploring that you're doing because of what it will end up being. There's so many stories around me, around people I know, uncles, aunties. Everybody has one story or the other. But there's one in particular that I heard of a man who in his heydays, I mean, the man had money. First, he had a child with one woman, dumped her, had a child with another woman, dumped her, the kids were there, had another third one, dumped them. You know, at some point, he finally married one. The one he married, he divorced her for a long time. After many years, he was now very sick. Nobody was around him to care for him, this man. Now, people started coming around to come and support him, but nobody could stay. He needed a woman to stay with him. Nobody. They're not bringing all sort of funny people around to be, you know, to be nursing and clean. It was just some. I mean, I heard that eventually one of his female former girlfriends now showed up, but she didn't show up with love and care. She showed up with, when are they to move the plug? I beg, let us know what's going on. I want to get out of here. You know. So these are the repercussions. People forget that could happen when you don't have that your last line of defense. That is well catered for, and you've empowered them. They are fortified, and they also have vested interest in you. Nobody. So if you understand,
The only reason I will stay with someone on a sick bed is because I know I owe that person.
Yes.
You have made sacrifices.
You have invested in my life.
You have invested in me. I cannot watch you suffer. So I would bear it. I will sit. It's a sense of responsibility that drives it. And the opposite would happen if I don't feel like you don't deserve the sacrifice you are expecting me to give. And if anybody is compelling me to do it, I will sit there because I'm being compelled to, but my heart is not in it, and it will show in the result that we'll get. Missy mentioned something very crucial during the break. She said that the women of nowadays will not come and nurse you. The women of now, and the men of today, are still flaunting that I'm a man, I will hang out, come back home 5 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, I can talk to you anyhow, and you think that at old age, the woman will be able to
be like your mom.
She will not, the women of today, me, we will not sit. I will not sit. And I have a friend that went to greet her for, she just had a baby. And when we went there, she was like, my mom cannot stay. That is my third child. My mom does not stay more than 2 weeks. She will go and meet her husband.
So imagine.
As in, she's like, she will go and meet her husband. She will be really like, I cannot leave my husband alone for too long. Even my mom, when she would go home and cook and come back, she would go home and ensure that things are settled because of the quality of relationship that you have. They will not abandon you for 1 month.
So thank you for taking us, because I was going to take us to the fact that will modern women today do this? I mean, can we look at the future and say, okay, God forbid, modern women are in this situation, will they stay where a man has abandoned you, or he didn't raise the kids with you, you did all the heavy lifting yourself all your life, and now he's in need? Well, the feminine energy of us might say, you know what?
So the modern woman, so the modern woman, we're trying to grab the attention. Children are trying to grab the attention of the modern mother. Talk less of someone who is undeserving of her attention. She's traveling, she's in the gym, she's hanging out, doing all sorts of things in her 60s, in her 70s. Her fashion game is up there, you know. She's going for children's weddings, friends' children's weddings.
Done.
Yes. And then that you do not pay attention at all. It's hard. Even for those that, you know, that she feels obligated to, she's still calling and giving excuses. You know, I feel it would be really hard. And that is why, you know, we've been having this conversation. I remember we had an actress who, you know, talked about how women have sort of grown, but the men are still in the past. So, you know, we're saying women are now empowered, though. They are going to school, they're doing the jobs, they're chasing their dreams, they have an ambition, and they're doing all these things. But you're still living in the past and thinking, my mother stayed, so you will stay however I treat you. What happens again if you find yourself in old age, and during that time when you were young, you didn't take care of her? it will be very, very sad news. I just hope that, I feel that I'm seeing a difference. I have to tell the truth. I think that a group of men that will say yes, we have seen a difference in their attitude. They appreciate their wives, they are there, they spend time. We're seeing more daddies in schools. There used to be a time you would never see daddy. But now we're seeing them in schools. There are some daddies that say, see, I'm taking them out so that they will know that even I am part of bringing them up. So,
I was taking just like you said, I was taking my husband in the past used to take my kids to school, right? And I would pick up. But recently, I was dropping them to school and picking them up. Recently, he said, Auntie, you want to take this time? So when they are old, they say that they didn't see me. Me, I am dropping my children. He woke up. I will carry my children to school. But so the point is, you're right. Today's men also are changing, but so a good chunk of them still are in the past, and they still feel like, listen, you will be like my mother because my mother made that sacrifice. I expect that you, as a virtuous woman, should to stay with me through thick and thin. It was the vow we took. We were supposed to be there through thick and thin.
So I've seen good men fall into the hands of wicked women. That's also some of the reasons that you see this play out in the hospitals. You see a man who has labored for his family, he has given his all, he has made sure everybody is okay. And then in his trying time, the woman just picks up her bag and leaves and just abandons. So while we are picking our spouses, we should also pray that karma will not find us, because I really don't understand why a good man would have that kind of woman treat him so badly in his trying time, where you're supposed to be, holding him and praying. No, I've seen.
Wait,
I have two people.
Yes,
I have two people
in my
area.
happens to the children?
No, hold on now, hold on. So a bad woman will find a way to get the children on her side. They start from very little. So because you're expecting children to stand up and say, I've seen a few cases where the children will say, mommy, it's not like this, don't do this, right? But most of the time, the children tilt towards their mother. It's what the mother says that takes the case. Absolutely. So you pray that you get a good woman who will see the sacrifices you have made and will not choose to be a bad person at the time that you need them the most. Because there are people who are like that. The way we have bad men, that's also how we have bad women. And when that happens, sometimes you see the family member saying, we suspected she was going to be like this. Or sometimes they don't even see it. She's all good with them when things are rosy, and immediately the man just slumps or something happens, you will see why the family members are just trying to understand what is happening. Should we change? Should we cut them off?
So maybe that's the benefits of a polygamous relationship, because if you have 2-3 wives, you can know the one that will take care of you, because polygamy is a good opportunity for you. If you have a bad wife, at least you can't have 3 wives, you can't have 3 bad wives. One of them will be at least stay with you.
So
that's a benefit.
Bad to you too.
You can be a bad person and you marry 3.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say that to solve that problem, marry 2 more wives.
No, that's what some men have used to do that. But I also feel that everything we do bears seed, right? So if you do evil, if it's a good man, an honestly good person who ends up being with a bad wife, somehow the seed of his goodness will show up in the children, people around him, Yes, good and bad things happen to good people, but there's always a change of story. So even if he is not alive to see the goodness overcome evil, children may see it, and then the way the other person's story ends. Because if I look at it, many of the stories that I have heard of personally, that they found themselves, in a bad situation with a bad spouse, or somehow something shows either in the children or in other relationships or in business, that vindicates that person that was good.
Interesting. I have to go on a quick break. When we come back, I think I have a call. Hello? I'm not sure. I think it's a break. Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the other topic, but I wanted to wrap up on this. But Bisi, you're going to say something?
From my own perspective, is that I love what Bisi said. Bisi brought, and I mentioned earlier, but I like the way she said it, that there are wicked women and there are wicked men. It's just that we rarely see cases where the women are abandoned in the hospital and there's nobody to take care of them, and we see more of men being abandoned. Sow the right seeds, in the words of Mariam, and you will reap the right fruits.
Talking about, let me take Yusuf's call. Good morning, Yusuf. Are you there? Thanks for calling. Mrs. Yusuf.
Good morning. First time caller, ma.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, ma. Nancy Murayo, I'm in this show right now.
Oh.
My husband has been sick since last year.
I've been sick.
Yes, and this man only cares for our children. He does not care about me. But for the fact he cares for my children, I just decided to take care of him. But as it is, he does not want me to take care of him.
Doesn't want him to what?
He doesn't want to take care of him.
Okay.
Yes. He hates me to the extent that he does not want me to hear him. He does not want me to take care of him.
Wow.
Okay.
How can we handle that?
So why are you there?
The children.
So why are you taking care of him if he doesn't want you taking care of him?
Yes.
She's listening to the TV. Okay, Mrs. Yusuf, I really wanted to know why she...
I thought you mentioned the children.
She said he was a good father. He took care
Hello,
of
are you there? Mrs. Yusuf, can you hear me?
I can hear you, ma.
You are listening to the TV. Listen to the phone call, please. Why are you still taking care of him?
If he doesn't want you.
If he doesn't want you taking care of him?
I don't know. I believe he hates me. I don't know the reason.
Okay.
I didn't hear the question, but...
All right, thank you very much.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.